Hey, all you cool wild cats and kittens. I'm Mr. Urban, and you're watching Last Week of Westlane. Wow, so many new things coming up. We've got athletics started to get rolling. We've got just had midterms and Labor Day weekend. Wherever you are, I hope you've been having a great day. But we've got a great show for you today. Today we are going to introduce some of our new teachers. We love them. We know that you guys will too. We also have part two of that interview with Mr. Pitcock, and we have some updates from athletics. Hey, hope you guys stay tuned. You're watching Last Week of Westlane.
Double digit thousands.
Hello, everyone. Thank you so much, Last Week at Westlane, for having me do this. I'm Mr. Garrett. I'm a 8th grade INS teacher here at Westlane. This is my first year here at Westlane. Before Westlane, I went to college at Indiana University. You can probably tell from my Zoom background, the best school in the world. Sorry, Mr. Pitcock.
Hi, Westlane Middle School. My name is Mrs. McCoy, and I am the new instructional coach. So I work with all grade levels and all content areas. For college, I went to Indiana University with a business degree, and then I went back to school to be a teacher at the University of Indianapolis, and then I went back to school again to get my administration license from Butler University.
Hi, I'm Shane Gerton. I go by Gert. I'm here to answer a few questions. Where did I go to college? I went to Butler University right here in Indianapolis. Majored in psychology and went back again to get my special ed teaching license because
Hi everybody, this is Mr. Newrider, and I'm here to answer some questions for you for this episode of Last Week at Westlane. So the first question was, where did you go to college? I went to Purdue for a while, and then I went to IUPUI for a while. So my degree from IUPUI is actually from IU, so I am proud to be part of the IU and the Purdue family.
Let's see, what inspired me to be a teacher? I think when I was younger, all I really knew was that I wanted to make a difference in the world, and I felt like teaching was a great place for me to do that. So that's kind of what led for me to be a teacher.
What inspired me to be a teacher was being out in the business world. Adults can be grumpy, adults are competitive, and I really missed the energy and enthusiasm that students have and that teachers have.
that's why I went into teaching. I worked at a school for children with learning disabilities, and one day they asked me if thought I could teach some algebra to a kid that was behind, and I did, and I found out I was pretty good at teaching, and so I went back to Butler and got my teaching license.
What inspired me to be a teacher was the next question. I would say my 6th grade social studies teacher was a huge influence, as well as my high school US history teacher. But my mother was a teacher, and so my whole life, one of my favorite things to do was to play school as I was a kid. So it's always just kind of been a part of who I am.
So one thing I want all Westlane to know is that I am a former Westlane Wildcat myself. So I'm back where things started for me. I think here at Westlane is where I first realized I wanted to be a teacher. So it's great for me to be back where it all began and to see some familiar faces again.
One thing I would like all of Westlane to know is just how amazing you guys are. I am so lucky to be here, and I think that you guys have an incredible community here that is unmatched in a lot of other schools.
One thing I'd want Westlane to know, I'm dyslexic. Makes it hard for me to read, but I get by. And I know that learning can be tough sometimes, but you just got to hang in there. I ended up dealing with this and graduating 9th in my high school class. So,
Next question is, what's one thing you'd like all of Westlane to know? Well, one thing is, as you can see behind me in my picture here, that's me driving my big red International tractor. So I grew up on a farm and I still love farming. And something else to know about me is I am a drummer, and voila, that is my drum set. That's a picture I took from one of our shows recently behind my kit. And I love music, I love drumming, and that's a big part of who I am.
Okay, so what is my new classroom like? That is a great question. I am, like most eighth grade teachers, I am here in the South Gym. I have my Zoom background up because it's just a really boring wall in front of me. It is not too bad in the gym. We've all adjusted. It was really hot in the beginning, but now we have air conditioning, so everything is not too bad here.
Finally, it is really hard being away from teachers and students. I am an extrovert, so being by myself all day is really hard. I get to see students and teachers on Zoom, but I want to see you all in person. So I hope to meet you all soon.
And what's the best thing about working at Westlane so far? Outside of getting to talk to a lot of different students, I'd say the staff is just excellent. They've been very helpful to me when I've had problems and needed help, and everybody's more than willing to come over and lend an old guy a hand who's not real good with technology and everything. So that's me, Gert. I'll be seeing you around.
So what else here? What's the best part of Wesleyan so far? I would say the best part, aside from meeting all the great students on Zoom and my coworkers, is that I am going to be getting a new science lab once the addition is built for the 8th grade wing upstairs. So I'm very excited for that. And I'm really excited to meet everybody once you are all able to join us here in person. Thanks, everyone.
Wow, thank you so much, new teachers. We are so excited to have you here. All right, coming up next is that second part of that interview with Mr. Pickhock, so stay tuned for some important updates about stuff at Westlane and coming back to school. Cheers.
If there was like a fire drill or something during hybrid school, how would we exit the building while being 6 feet away?
Oh, that is a great question. So the CDC guidelines for schools is anywhere from 3 to 6 feet. We're going to have to practice those pieces. Being 3 to 6 feet away from each other is going to be difficult because in all schools, really, there's a closeness and there's a connectedness. And I've always said this too, middle school students have an odd body sense of where everybody is in relativity around them. And so we're just gonna have to practice. We're gonna have to practice like having your hand out front and to the side and making sure people are staying away from you by 3 to 6 feet. To do a fire drill would be like we do all the time. We'd have to be in lines. We'd have to be distanced out, and then we would be able to do the drills. And that really, Kidda, that's a great question because we're really looking at that in every place. How do we do that at lunch? How do we do that in the classrooms? How do we do that in PE? How do we do that in band? And so right now we are kind of finalizing our plans to be back in person and how we're going to help distance that. Again, like the earlier question was, we don't know when, but we do know that when students do come back, we're going to need to have a very safe plan in place for them to be able to distance themselves 3 to 6 feet, like the CDC says, making sure we're wearing a mask, making sure we're all facing the same way. But I think that's going to be the key when we come back, is like teaching the students how to be distance and then making sure that we keep that distance apart. But that was an excellent question.
Okay. How will bus rides be affected by COVID?
We know this, and we've already kind of put this in our plan, and you guys can kind of like this is a promise. We're going to have bus drivers place you all in assigned seats, and we're going to have a we want 6th graders sitting in front, 7th graders sitting in the middle, 8th graders sitting in the back. And then we're going to have, like, when we get here at school, we're going to have a specific place for you to park. Because, usually it's first come, first serve, but there's going to be a specific place for you to park. Then you're going to go into a specific door, and we're going to say breakfast people are going to have a little card, come in and get breakfast and eat breakfast in the cafeteria. I think you're going to see a little less choice probably in breakfast and lunch because we don't want to make sure that you guys are just like getting in and out. And so that's kind of what we're doing. But buses will be different because, again, you will be sitting. Again, if we go a hybrid model, you'll have a fewer kids on that bus. And so you'll have again, it's assigned seats. You'll be getting off at certain times. You'll have a time to get off the bus. When you get in the building, I'm going to tell you what, you guys, I don't think are anywhere ready for what's going to look like in the building. It looks completely different. Like there is no more 7th and 8th grade hallway right now. There is a temporary classroom. You won't even recognize the North Gym looks like a little city with all the classrooms that are in there. And then our new upfront cafetorium that you probably have driven by, it has all the classrooms in there too for 7th grade. So and then you won't even recognize my office. It looks like the whole office area looks completely different. By the time you get there too, our entryway will be done. It'll look completely different. So we're going to really work through this as a school year. I'm going to say from bus to building, back to bus, we're going to look so different. And even in second semester, we're going to look different because we're going to have 7th and 8th grade open up, our new 7th and 8th grade upstairs. So it's going to look completely different. But yes, bus ride, back to your original question, they're much more assigned seat wise and much more following directions of the driver about where to sit and when to get off. All right, everybody. I want to thank you last week at Westlane. Those were really good questions, period. I mean, those were solid questions, and keep them coming. I'll come on every week if you want me to, or every other week, so I can keep becoming a vast YouTube sensation. So I'm really looking forward for that. So I don't know how that changes your life, but I think I'm willing to learn what a YouTube sensation can be.
Wow. Thank you, Mr. Pidcock, and all of those interview questions. They were awesome. Cool. So coming up is athletic updates. We have some highlights from performances throughout last week and also an interview with Coach Keys.
All right, Coach Keith, are you confident in this football team?
I'm very confident in this football team.
Are you ready for Thursday?
We are ready for Thursday. I believe we have prepared enough through conditioning and game planning.
What's something that you think that you could do to help us be a better team?
I would say an area I could always grow in is communication. Being able to get the game plan across in a very concise and understanding manner to the kids so that they are able to go out and execute, but not just execute, but feel confident when executing.
What's your plan on the bus?
The bus, the plan for the bus is we are going to either ask parents if they would like to drop their kids off. However, we're going to order 2 buses for social distancing. If I had a preference, I would say have everybody ride the bus, because of the type of coach that I am, I would like to have the whole team together so that we can all get on the same page and in the same mindset.
All right, thanks.
Wow, go Wildcats. Let's go. Last but not least, we're introducing some of the members of Last Week at Westlane. You'll see them on the show, you'll see them hosting, and you will see them creating awesome segments. So that's it for today. Hope you guys have a great day. Stay possum. You've been watching Last Week at Westlane.
sitting back counting double-digit thousands stacks.